Yay! We read books this year, people. We did good. Let's talk about books, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the books that we can read in 2019. I just made that up like right now and I felt really cool. Here are some of my top favorite books of 2018. I'll start with kind of the popular ones. So I saw this book everywhere, Little Fires Everywhere, and I was like, oh my gosh, why does Chapters or Indigo have like 50 of these books just at the front of the store? I was like, just, yeah, I'm not gonna tell you what it's about, but it's really good, okay? I really enjoyed it. I cried. I remember crying and being like, whoa, like, it was really good.
No, I really enjoyed that book like a lot. Even though I was like, it's just hyped up, you know, but it was good, I really liked that. The next book that is kind of, I've seen the name around quite a bit and like on YouTube and stuff, which I read like this December, was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And this book was insane. Like, I just liked how each chapter was like Evelyn's husband, or like partner at the time, and how they influenced her life and how they were like interwoven in her choices and how it impacted her career and stuff like that, because Evelyn's like this lady who came from nothing and then she built herself up into this famous actress, and then there's like this other twist at the end where you're just like side smacked, you're just like, wait, no, and then you're like, no, and then and the ending, okay, it was so sad. And
yeah, I cried. Yeah, that such a good book as well. So Colleen Hoover writes a ton of books, and I've never been huge on her books. Like, I'm like, it's like, okay, maybe like, I've liked maybe one or two books, but usually it's like a romance with like all the bumps, you know?
And then I got the book, and it's really good. Like, it's hilarious, and the plot is kind of like just crazy. It's a little bit all over the place, but like in a good way. Like, it's like, oh, it's not too predictable, you know, but there are some things, and the writing was a little cringy in some areas where you're like, you know, or like, an editor should have fixed that, you know, but other than that, it was actually, it's a book that made me like smile a lot, you know, like kind of giggle and like, you know, so yeah, so I like that one. Okay, A List of Cages, I just read like a few weeks ago, and it's about this kind of troubled boy who comes from like an abusive home where I think it was his uncle that was looking after him because his parents were gone, and at school he kind of like skips class and gets in trouble. He has to go to like counseling and stuff, and then the counselor's son, or like the boy, he kind of worked in the counseling office, he becomes friends with him, kind of because he has to, but kind of because he wants to. And as well, these two boys who start to become really close and like have this beautiful friendship. And I love when guys are like vulnerable and fragile in a book, and when they come together and they are friends or more. Anyways, and like, instead of it being like a book where everything works out in the end because they fell in love, or it's a relationship novel, you know, like it became more than that. That didn't take over the book, and it wasn't even about that, like, and that's why I love that book, because it didn't become like tragic background, relationship, everything's better, beautiful, you know, it was like tragic background, friendship, support, you know, beauty, different types of relationships, but not necessarily the one that you're like, this is what's going to happen in the book because you've read enough books, I know what's going to happen type of thing, right? And, yeah.
Vicious by V. Schwab. V. Schwab, I don't know. Anyways, I really enjoyed that book. It's about these guys, and then they pretty much kill themselves in order to come back with power, but they like to the brink of death, you know, like, yeah, and then they're like hunting each other down kind of thing. Last best book of 2018 that I read was Jane Unlimited. Okay.
I really struggled when I started this book because I was like, it's so slow, and I was like, what the heck is going on? And I was like 200 pages in, and I was like, okay, about to give up, because I was like, I feel like I've spent like 10 hours reading this, and I've barely gotten in the book, and like I'm confused. But then I got to the end of the chapter, and something incredible happened. This author is a genius, okay, people? So each chapter restarts and it tells the same story. Like, this painting goes missing and someone in this mansion stole it and is trying to sell it for money or do something with it. And you don't know what it is. It's a mystery, right? And the main character is trying to solve this mystery. But each chapter restarts at the beginning and she follows a different suspect. So it's almost like you get to kind of choose your own path. But the thing is that the cover of the book said it like it was kind of like a choose your own path novel. But then it really wasn't. So I was really confused. But then I found out, like, it took me a really long time to realize what the author was doing, that she was actually restarting. I'm like, didn't I already read that? I was like, why is the same painting going missing again? I was like, didn't I just read that like last chapter? Like, I was really confused. So you have to kind of be very aware of what's going on because she's so smart. It's seamless, you know, that you have to be paying attention. And yeah, so each chapter she like follows this person and then she finds out a secret about them that may or may not contribute to solving the real mystery, right? That book blew my mind because I haven't read a book that tells the same story like 4 or 5 times, but following different things, like different people in the house or like have different outcomes. And so anyways, Jane Unlimited was like, I was like, wow, this author, dang, put a lot of work into that and thought and creativity.
Also, this year in university, I read this one book for a class and I ended up doing a group project on it. And it was honestly like, Burnt Shadows by Camila Shamsi.
It is challenging in the sense that it's emotionally and mentally like very, makes you think a lot. It makes you reflect on kind of the world, on power politics in the world, on the centricity of power in the world, about history and violence and the perpetuation of violence, and about stories and whose story is told, whose story is valued, kind of the worth of people. It takes place where this woman is affected by Nagasaki, and she moves, and about the Pakistani and Indian, what's that called? Anyways, she goes to Pakistan and then she goes to New York and then there's 9/11 and it's just, it has all these things that happen in history that have impacted so many people, but it really asks you to question kind of why we sympathize or empathize for other people, not everyone, and why we can do such horrible things to people when we're all people, you know what I'm saying? So this book I would highly recommend reading if you're interested in anything like that. My professor, I have no idea how she even found this gem of a book. We also read other great books in our class, but I don't know, I just feel really invested in this one. Maybe because I did a group project on it that I'm just really invested, but yeah, if you're looking for something more, like more than just a fun novel or more than just something fresh, you know, because this is fresh, even though it's history, it's the way that Shamsi has written the novel is incredible. So I would 10 out of 10 recommend that one as well.
So those are a few of my favorite books that I read this year, and I hope you enjoyed them as much as I did. Thanks for watching.